Welcome back. The Derrick Lamon Show, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. Not to be confused with patreon.com/Derrick Lamon Experience. I do exclusive content over there. Video game play-alongs. The Week in Gaming, which is a video game podcast. The Last Word with Derrick Lamon, where I give you my thoughts on a certain topic. And then I have a weekly newsletter. Also available on there is other exclusive audio content, something I do called Comic Book Corner, where I take a certain arc of a famous comic book series. Like, for instance, we've done Daredevil. God, what is the big Daredevil arc? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but recently I just, not too long ago, recorded Iron Man Demon in the Bottle, and that is coming, I think this week, as a matter of fact. So yeah, we have Comic Book Corner, we have Introspective, where I'll break down like certain albums or film series and stuff like that. We have The State of Hip Hop, a monthly show where I talk about hip hop topics and what's going on in the flux of the hip hop generation and universe at the moment. During college football season, we have College Football Weekly, and then during the playoff, we have College Football Playoff, the countdown to the playoff, all that stuff. Signing day is covered, just a myriad of things. So there's something generally over there for anybody who knows me and is interested in having conversations with me about certain topics. To find it, the link is down here in the episode details. But again, that's patreon.com/Derrick Lamon Experience. For exclusive audio, there's a tier. For the Patreon play-along video games, there's a tier. And then the highest tier, the titanium tier, gives you a bunch, everything on the first two tiers, plus some other exclusive content. There's a more mature gaming play-alongs that are coming very, very soon. Not that it's like weirdo, like sex stuff or anything like that, but it's more mature, some horror games, Resident Evil games, and stuff like that. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. Today, though, I want to talk about something that is coming up. I do have actually tickets to the advanced screening of the Michael Jackson biopic. I was supposed to go see it with my coworkers. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. But we'll see. I don't know where we are on that. But I know that I'm going to see it a couple days after the advanced screening as well. So I'm very excited about this movie. I was born in 1982, the same year that Thriller came out. Michael Jackson was a mainstay at my house. My mother was born in 1961, and I forget what year the Jacksons signed with Motown. So my mom saw the whole thing, and I remember calling her. I remember being at work and finding out that Michael had died, and she's like, "He's not dead." I'm like, "No, Ma, it's confirmed. He's gone." And I remember Google crashing because so many people Googling it, and I remember the iTunes store crashing because so many people in the iTunes store to buy Michael's catalog of music, and even in that, I've discovered some Michael songs that I had never heard. I remember when they did the posthumous album. I remember when This Is It came out, being their day one to see that in there. So my relationship with Michael Jackson, there's a personal one, right? This is parasocial. I'm a fan like everybody else. I'm also aware of the allegations, right? I was 10, almost 11 in 1993, depending on what time of the year it was. In 1993, I'd have been 11. I remember the conversation and the case that saying that he had, I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to get blocked or anything like that, but done some things to some children and things like that, and that was a big thing. And I remember we took a family vacation in 2009, weeks after he had actually passed away, and I remember reading these books, and I actually still have them here. I remember the Time magazine cover and all that stuff. Every publication covered it because it was the biggest story. It was like Elvis dying in this day. When Elvis died, I'm pretty sure the world stopped, but there was no internet. Michael, I don't know if he's the first big star to die in the internet age or the social media age. He's gotta be near the top. I'm trying to think if anybody else died around that time that would have shook the earth to its core like Michael did. Off the top of my head, I can't think. I remember what it was like when Kobe Bryant died. And I remember being on my way to the airport to fly home and finding out, number one, probably one of my favorite players of all time is gone, but also because of the nature of his death, I get very nervous every time I get on a plane. I remember flying home back in January through a snowstorm. I had to reroute my flight multiple times. First, I was supposed to fly out of Atlanta back here, and then the storm hit the southeast, so I had to change that. I was like, okay, I'll fly out of LaGuardia, and then the storm was hitting that area, so I had to fly from Georgia to Detroit, and then we sat on the tarmac for 2 hours in Detroit while they de-iced the plane, and then flew up above through the snow, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's any better. And then actually getting home, and there was a blizzard that hit St. Louis, and navigating my way home after that. So imagine where I was, flying always makes me nervous, and anybody, never mind, I'm not gonna go there, but I was terrified. But I distinctly remember what I was doing when I found out Kobe Bryant died. I distinctly remember what I was doing when I found out that Michael Jackson died. And I was in much different places in my life both times. But this shook everybody up. So again, the film is coming, and I'm very excited. I'm not saying I'm going to get up and moonwalk and dance during the sequences, but I'm going to be in the theater singing. And if you don't want to hear me sing, don't come. Don't come. I'm going to try to restrain myself, but I'm very excited for this. So Variety has an article out right now. This came out, they don't date it. I don't know. Anyway, inside the Michael overhaul, $15 million reshoot, CA allegations and what's in store for the sequel. So, we've heard that they had so much footage that they basically cut 2 films, and this one's going to be the barometer. If this one does good, then the other one will be greenlit, which apparently they have most of it already shot. They're saying sequels, and I'm like, is there more to this than what we know? Not sure, but I'm pretty sure this film is going to break records. There's no way it's not going to, because it's fucking Michael Jackson. Like, let's be for real. So anyway, article is written by audio is powered by Trinity. I don't know who wrote this. It doesn't list. Oh, Brent Lang and Rebecca Root. Shout out Brent Lang and Rebecca Root. Michael, the story of Michael Jackson's rise to superstardom was supposed to begin in media res with one of the darkest chapters of the singer's life. In one scene from the film's original script, the king upstairs in his reflection in the mirror, capturing the sorrowful face as police car lights flash behind him. 1993, a decade after Thriller gripped the culture, and Jackson has become accused of CM. Don't want to say those words. But the sequence with investigators who arrive at Neverland Ranch to search for evidence is one of many that were left on the cutting room floor. Michael with Lionsgate will release in the United States on April 24th. Is supposed to explore the impact of the allegations on Jackson's life, with much of its third act devoted to the scandal. That finale was scrapped, along with the mention of the accusations and origin sources of knowledge of the production. That's after attorneys for the Jackson estate, which served as a producer, realized there was a clause in a settlement with one of the six accusers, Jordan Chandler. There is a HBO docu-series, I think it was called Leaving Neverland or something like that, where this Jordan Chandler's person, or actually maybe it wasn't. I do know that, click on that. One of the guys was Wade Robson. I did not know that Wade was from Australia. I know that he did a lot of choreography for Britney Spears and singing and stuff like that. Wade has a cameo in You Got Served at the end with Queen Latifah and stuff like that. Oprah, that is. So, after Neverland, 2019 HBO special Oprah and Wade Robson, Safe Chuck. Okay, so Jordan Chandler's not in this. That barred any mention or mention of him in the movie. After the late stage discovery, filmmakers went back to the drawing board to come up with an ending. The process was further delayed after the house of screenwriter John Logan was damaged with Palisades fire. As a result, Michael, which had been scheduled to land in theaters April 18th of 2025, was delayed to October 3rd before being the final time in spring of 2026. So we've been waiting on this one. And I do remember that this was supposed to be out last spring. I totally forgot that it got delayed to the fall, but here we are. Um, let's see. Last June, the cast reassembled for 22 days of additional photography to shoot the new third act and flesh out scenes from earlier in the movie. Production would had primarily taken place in Santa Barbara, restarted in Los Angeles to qualify for state tax rebates. They added 10 million to 15 million. That added 10 million to 15 million to the budget. According to sources with knowledge of similar projects, Michael was greenlit for 155 million. Jackson Estate shouldered these extra costs because its era necessitated the changes. Insiders say because it was willing to put that bill, the estate has an equity stake in the film, according to another knowledge of the production. So I know John Branco was Michael's attorney, and I think that I don't know if he's the head of the estate, but I would imagine he holds a high-ranking position. Recently I found out within the last week or so that Janet Jackson will not be portrayed in the film, and apparently she has an issue with members of the estate. He is the co-executor of Michael Jackson, of the estate of Michael Jackson, and chairman of the Michael Jackson Company. Okay. Janet Jackson is not portrayed as a character in the 2026 biopic Michael, a decision confirmed by sources who have seen the film. Despite her closeness to Michael, the film focuses heavily on his solo career and specific family dynamics rather than a comprehensive family portrait causing surprising fans. Janet is not a character in the film, according to Variety. The movie prioritizes Michael's solo journey, his relationship with Joe Jackson, and specific eras over an ensemble family story. While other family members are involved as executive producers, including Tito, rest in peace, who passed away, Jackie, Marlon, and Prince. Janet is not involved in the production. Other family members such as LaToya appear briefly, but Janet is not included at all. The movie, which premieres in April 2026, stars Jafar Jackson as Michael. Michael Jackson's sons Prince and BG. I don't know. Jackson made a rare public appearance and they hit the red carpet for the Michael film premiere in Berlin alongside several other family members. The brothers posed for photos of Johnny suits reminiscent of their famous dad's fashion style on Friday. Prince, who was 29, looked dapper in a classic black suit with a red button-down shirt and black tie ensemble. That resembled the same iconic look Michael wore to 2008 performance of Dangerous for a bit of advanced 50th anniversary. Brother BG paid homage to the King of Pop with a black suit jacket with gold stripes along the arm and matching black bands. One of his arms, he sported an armband with a photo of one of his dad's legendary poses. In addition to the brothers, many of Michael's siblings, including Jackie, Jermaine, and Marlon, made an appearance in the red carpet. Jermaine's sons Jafar and Your Majesty were also in attendance with Randy Jackson Jr. Several important family members, Michael's sister Janet, LaToya, and his daughter Paris, were notably absent from the festivities. I remember when Coleman Domingo, who's playing Joe in the movie, said that the Jackson family was supporting the film and they were helping out and giving information. And Paris Jackson went on this tirade saying, "This man's a fucking," like, I don't remember her exact quote, but she basically said that Coleman Domingo was lying. Fans of the late pop star were shocked after it was revealed that his equally famous sister Janet is not featured in the Antoine Fuqua biopic for Variety. Though his older sister LaToya will be played by British actress Jessica Sula. Reps for Janet and Paris did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comments. It's no secret that Janet has her issues with the movie that follows her brother's meteoric rise from child star to larger-than-life musician. Sources exclusively told Page Six in March that Janet had a tense exchange with her brother Jermaine, whose son Jafar plays Michael in the film, as the film screening in front of family members. Eyewitnesses claim Janet had something negative about almost every scene and didn't hold back in her critiques in the theater. Wow. The acting, the makeup, how the actors spoke, even how they walked, it was Janet deciding in this alone that this movie wasn't going to give her approval. Instead of attending the big shindig on Friday, Paris, 28, who has been embroiled in a difficult legal battle with her late father's estate, was seen out and about in West Hollywood spending some time with a friend. Photos show the sworn star casually walking through Hollywood streets with a drink in her hand before she stopped to embrace her friend who wore a red sweatshirt. about her father's life. In September 2025, the musician responded. Here we go. This is what it was. The musician responded to actor Coleman Domingo, who portrays Jackson's family patriarch Bill Jackson. Comments that she and her brother Prince were very much in support of the film. Quote, "Don't be telling people I was helpful on the set of the movie I had 0% involvement in. That is so weird," Paris wrote in response to Instagram. "I read one of the first drafts of the script and gave my notes about what was dishonest, didn't sit right with me, and why they didn't address it. When they didn't address it, I moved on with my life. Not my monkeys, not my circus. God bless and Godspeed." She quotes, "Paris has not yet directly addressed her absence from Friday night's premiere, but she seemingly shaded her family with a pointed message shared via her Instagram stories on Thursday as she reposted a reel. Quote, 'You're so funny.' The video was captioned in part, 'Thanks, my family used to have meetings about what to do with me.'" Okay. I didn't know that Paris Jackson was a musician. I did not know this. Oh boy. Here's my thing. Paris is 28, and I don't remember how old she is. Michael, it'll be 20 years, 3 years from now since he passed away. So the math on that, she was relatively young. She obviously was not alive when Thriller, Off the Wall, Bad, Dangerous, any of those albums released. She wasn't alive, obviously, for the Jackson 5 era because Michael was a child himself. So basically what this tells me is what she knows or what she thought should have been portrayed. I would have to imagine that her and her father had conversations and he told her, "This is what it was like for us going and doing the Ed Sullivan Show. This is what it was like when I did my first solo record on Motown, Ben. Or this is what it's like when we left Motown." I would have to imagine that would be the only way because Paris wasn't there. I wasn't there. I think that, I know Janet was very much involved with the kids once Michael passed away, which leads, and the fact that Janet and Paris were not there, they may be pretty close. So maybe they both decided we're going to sit this one the fuck out because it's just not in the best interest of her. And Janet feels some way. If she had something to say about every scene in the movie, I find that very, very interesting. And it's a biopic about Michael Jackson. The first weekend numbers are going to be strong no matter what. It's the second weekend that you have to worry about, and that will set the stage on whether this film does huge globally and whether we see those sequels. But again, it's Michael Jackson. There was a prison, I think it was the Philippines or something like that, where every year they did the whole Thriller routine. These are prisoners. Everybody, like, this film is going to bring so many people out the house to see it. So I know that I know at least the first weekend numbers are going to be strong. The second weekend is always the question when it comes to films. And that's what we're gonna have to. We'll have to wait and see. Back to the Variety article. Now, instead of